this is very exciting. Excited for our next guest. That's because it was a shocking ending to season 3 of Saving Hope. Fans were just left with so many questions. The first episode, by the way, of season 4 airs tonight on CTV, and here to talk about it is Dr. Alex Reed herself, Erica Durance. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I like being introduced as a doctor.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's your you play the role very well. It's very convincing.
I like to think of myself as one.
Except for when it comes to real life, I'm sure. You don't diagnose people in real life.
No, I don't. But I actually have a list of things going through my head sometimes when my sons are sick or whatever. I go, I'm sure it's this.
Really?
I'll call my friend. He's a neurologist. My husband's like, really? Get over yourself.
Yeah, this is taking the character too far.
Yeah, you really don't know what you're talking about.
You know, we have so many questions. So many people watched that finale in shock, and we're left with more questions about so many other things. So tell me a little bit about season 4 and where it sort of picks up from and what we can expect to see in season 4.
Right, so season 4 picks up in a little bit of a time jump. Alex is going back to work after maternity leave, so there's a little bit of that mother going back to work, dealing with leaving her child at home, and I think that's incredibly relatable to pretty much any woman that's around right now. Most women have that outside the home job to kind of make ends meet, and so she's dealing with that. Charlie and Alex are together in a real time for the first time. The audience can actually watch it without flashbacks, and they're dealing with, is he the real biological father? Is he not? And so the ghost of Joel is still kind of popping up a little bit.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about the love triangle anymore, per se. But now it's more about who's the baby daddy.
Who's the baby daddy? That's right. And she tries to avoid it a little bit, dealing with it. And so they're kind of dealing with that. And then, of course, there's all of Charlie's baggage, which brings that whole other little world, the spirit realm, the other world, if people want to call it that, which becomes a little bit darker this season.
Interesting. How much do you actually know about what's going to happen in the season ahead of time? Because a lot of people didn't see Joel's death coming.
Well, you know what? I was watching it myself with my husband, and I didn't know how that would manifest either. And I was watching popcorn, and I went, whoa, he really died. It wasn't just, you know, okay, the assumption of it. Who knows if he'll come back, though? You never say never, right?
Interesting. And when you signed on, because we remember having you here on our show on CP24 Breakfast, season 1.
Right.
When you signed on for Saving Hope, season 1, did you ever think it would take off the way it has? And now here we are in the start of season 4?
No, you know what? I don't make assumptions. I'm not being certainly negative about it. One hopes for things, but it was kind of like the little engine that could. It was this little project that a group of us worked together on, and we liked it, and we thought it had some legs to it, and all of a sudden people just kind of fell in love with all the characters. And I think that this year, again, you know, audience members are going to get to know those other characters. There's new characters, and there's more character development, and so they can kind of pick their flavor, as it were, and each one has its own journey, and it's really kind of a new season that way, which is quite nice.
Well, social media blew up after the end of season 3. Talk to me a little bit about the fans and what you hear from them, because I mean, 1.7 million people watched that finale. That's
right. So what I like to say to all the fans, and when I was getting the response of the shocking ending and Joel's departure, was thank you for being so invested, because there are people that were pretty angry. But like I always say, you know, the new season brings in new people, and they're going to be pretty excited. We have some new actors coming in that are awesome, that they'll fall in love with. You can't help but love them. And you never, like, maybe he'll come back.
Oh, wow. You never know.
We do have the ghost world for a reason.
Yeah, because that's one of the questions. People are saying, is Joel going to come back as a ghost? Although with the way he died.
I know. I was going to say it's a bit tough, but that's why it's the kind of show it is. And you get a little bit of the reality and a little bit of that kind of other world kind of thing, which allows you to have a little bit more play, which is fun.
Well, we talked about it earlier, touched on it with your character, Alex. So tell me about playing that role and what attracts you to it, because obviously there's some things that sort of parallel in your real life. You just had a baby yourself.
That's right. So I think for me it was it was her strength, and it was kind of balanced with that sense of vulnerability that she has as well. I was really interested in playing a character that was so incredibly driven but had to deal with so much trauma, and how do you deal with trauma, and then the overall kind of look of the show and the idea and the concept of the show, which is how do we as human beings deal with all the varying things in our lives, and some of those bigger questions. So that's what I kind of like, and she just continues to evolve, and this year is really her coming back like hell on wheels. Like, I'm coming back. I have something to prove. I'm a mother,
Nice.
but I'm trying to prove something now professionally, which is also incredibly relatable.
We're so looking forward to seeing Alex. Erica, thank you for joining
Thank you.
us. And we'll remind everyone you can watch Saving Hope Thursdays on CTV, the season premiere of season 4 tonight on CTV, 9 o'clock.